Coming off the last match, the last tag team match, high stakes, where they were trying to go after the ending for the tag team. Weren't quite able to get that done, but let's see what Eddie's got still for tonight. He's got to work that out.
You consider who her opponent is. Anyone would.
And her opponent this evening. Coming to the ring, standing at a height of 5 feet 10 inches and weighing in at 160 pounds. Since we've seen Strikira make an appearance in the ring, but no doubt, looking every bit as fearsome as she was, of course, a multi-time champion at various feds across the grid. Once more, Strikira gracing the ring here at Honor Pro.
Absolutely, and for those who may not know, speaking of other places, one time I got the privilege of tag teaming with Strikira. That was fun. I mean, the results not so much, but the team up was.
And of course, Sprocket, you can probably highlight a good bit of what Strikira's strengths are in the ring with that past experience of his.
Life Force Hurricane is a very apt description of Strikira. In fact, I'll just sum it up with one question. Do you dare? Do you dare?
Do you dare? Indeed. A classic. Edward will go ahead and hop into the ring, check both of them over. I'm kind of interested to see how this match goes anyways here, Sprocket, because like you said earlier, this is the first time these two have faced off against each other. Edward saying no bombs, Betty. Of course, the blonde bomber, she's always got to have one or two laid around here somewhere, right?
I'm sure there is.
Edward has given both of them the clean and clear. So it looks like we are getting ready to get underway with our first match of the evening.
Wrong. You are not wrong.
And there's the bell, and off we go. Looks like the two are going to lock up to start with. And Betty showing off a little bit of that speed, grabbing the wrist to start with. And now going to go and grab it and yank it.
Little bit of a feeling out process right here, the opening part of this contest. It's to be expected. Oh, look, Strikira, Betty tried to do a snap there, but Strikira rolled right out of it.
Strikira, of course, not afraid to show a little bit of speed in her own right. That gray better be fur and not rust. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Betty Hiess, she is not one to hesitate to say exactly what she thinks.
Indeed, that's always been something for Betty that, she'll tell you what she's thinking. There ain't no doubt about it. But, Strikira, maybe not the person to go do that with, because Strikira quickly grabbing the wrist now with the kick to the back and to the side. Ooh, and there's another.
Yeah, trying to work the arm in the side. I mean, gotta pick apart, so to speak.
Strikira, famous with those legs of hers and her kicks. One of the more famous wrestlers as far as being able to do that. And got Betty laid out in the center of the ring after that gut kick a moment ago.
we cannot discount the resiliency of one Betty Hiess.
Oh, and it appears to be chop time, but Betty's like, nah, give me more. Strikira, more than willing to oblige. And oh, Sprocket, I love my chop fest.
Yeah, asking for more as the chops are ringing throughout the arena.
And now just trading blows, giving each other the business one after the other. And oh, they're brawling it out in the center of the ring.
I believe the phrase is, things just got real.
Quoting one Adrian, that's real. In any case, Betty throwing Strikira in the corner and now coming and wrapping right up with her.
Yeah, you can see where these two are jockeying for position.
I mean, very close as far as stature and size, but oh, look at Betty Hiess picking Strikira up.
What strength!
Woo! Orange Crush! That's
Was
really close to the ropes, though.
Yeah, a little too close to the ropes, but what an innovative move right there. I mean, looked like use the ropes. That is a great example of ring awareness.
Indeed, but I'd like to maybe see that put a little bit more towards the center, because putting Strikira that close to the ropes, Strikira able to easily get her foot on the ropes right before, I think the ref just got a 1 count in, if that much. Whew! But Betty showing off that strength with that cradle suplex. Sizing her up, here she comes in, but oh, no can do. Train crashes before the station.
Strikira rolled out just in time.
Mm-hmm. And it was just that quick, the dynamics of how a match can go. Sprocket's Betty Hiess looked to have all of the momentum a moment ago, and now it's firmly in Strikira's grasp.
That is one of the great things about our sport. It can literally change at the drop of a dime, drop of a hat, a throw of a fist, a paw. In other words, it can change quickly.
Oh, that quick combo into the cover here from Strikira. 1, 2, no. Betty Hiess able to kick out after 2.
And those strikes that you mentioned earlier that Strikira is known for, but, you know, Betty Hiess is taking a little bit of a, I wanted to say pounding, but I know some people would take that the wrong way. So, what'd you say? Well, I know at least the person
over your shoulder
would,
here,
because I know Mags is nearby, and I know Mags, and I know the way Mags' mind works.
Let's say, not me looking right over your shoulder behind you here as you said that.
Anyway, that's tough ladies, and we'll just go back to the ring, back to the action in the ring.
Indeed, the two locking up again. Now Strikira coming away with the side headlock here. And just delivering those punches one after another right into the face of Betty Hiess, tossing her over the side into that takedown.
But just being in a headlock itself is exhausting, you know, as you're trying to get free of it. But then you're getting punched right in the dome. And, oh, now speaking of dome, look at the knees right to the dome of Betty Hiess.
Dropping those knees right into the gut of Betty. You go, each one of those strikes trying to take the wind out of Betty's sails, quite literally. Strikira sending Betty back into the corner, following her in right away. And Strikira saying, if one knee was good enough, well, let me give you a few more.
And Betty was in no man's land, so to speak, right there. I mean, it's very hard to defend yourself when you're in the corner like that.
Indeed, right you are, Sprocket. And Betty Hiess showing that she is definitely feeling all of those knees to the gut. She had to have taken several between the takedown and then in the corner from Strikira. Oh, Sprocket, we talked about Strikira's legs a moment ago, and showing every bit why she's so lethal with them there. but Betty able to reverse it, toss Strikira in the corner.
Just out of nowhere, which just shows some of that power, the raw power of the blonde bomber Betty Hiess.
And here she comes in with that Euro uppercut right to the face.
On target, beautifully executed.
Betty setting Strikira up in the tree of woe. And here come the kicks, one after another, just stomping a mud hole into Strikira's face. Oh, a diamond cutter off of the ropes. Oh my.
That was not only innovative, but that was nasty.
Do believe Betty calls that the VBD.
I call it painful and effective.
My back hurt just from watching it, so I agree with that statement.
You know, I could say the same, but as a former wrestler, I hurt almost all the time. But that's neither here nor there.
Right you are, Sprocket. Now Betty pulling Strikira out, up into the guillotine and over with the fisherman. Got the leg hook. That's a cover. Here comes the ref. 1, 2, no.
Only 2, but, you know, once again, the strength with a beautifully executed fisherman suplex.
Gotta wonder too how much ring rust there actually was. Betty mentioned it a moment ago, but you gotta wonder how much there is. But you know, Strikira hasn't wrestled a match in a while, and now getting tossed around by Betty, gotta think that's gonna be wearing on her perhaps a bit more than normal.
I mean, there's no way it couldn't. Like, let's just talk crazy and say I ever get back in the ring. Even with my past success, do you think I wouldn't be rusty? Of course I would be. There's a big difference between working out and being in shape and then being in ring shape.
Oh, right you are, Sprocket. And Betty Hiess showing every bit with that H-bomb off the ropes a moment ago. Strikira definitely on the mat showing every bit of the damage she's taken. Betty saying she's not done yet, grabbing her up. What does the Blonde Bomber have in mind here?
I mentioned earlier, anytime you're in a hold like that, I mean, yes, it's just a face lock, but anytime you have an opponent doing something like that to you, I mean, it does drain your stamina.
Without a doubt. And you just kind of hovering there and, you know, but Strikira showing off some of that savvy veteran-like ability she has, able to counter it out, and then, grab her by the gut and over the head with the suplex.
Yeah, Betty tried to do a suplex, but Strikira was able to counter. And, you know, we mentioned momentum, and it seems like it could be going back Strikira's way.
It could be, but I don't know if Strikira is really in any shape at this point to capitalize on it.
You know, it's hard to say. I mean, it's very hard to say, because she did take quite a bit of punishment earlier.
Betty's back to her feet, but Betty looking a little unstable in her own right here. And Strikira is going to be the one to make the move, and oh my
goodness.
I think she just flat took the daylights out of Betty on that one. This might be it here. 1, 2, no! Betty able to kick out of that. What a shot.
Even more from Strikira.
Showing off all of those kicks that she's ever so famous for. Oh, and a nasty typhoon at the end.
I mean, that kick had so much force, it literally flipped Betty Hiess inside out.
Betty's still not quite done, able to get herself right back up, and oh boy, Sprocket Strikira just not looking very good here. Indeed, I think you were right a moment ago.
Yeah, you can see what she's trying to grasping for breath. I mean, like I said, there's a difference between being in shape and in ring shape.
Oof, and Betty coming in with that RK special, or the R special, excuse me. But again, wearing down on both of these combatants here in the ring. Even Betty's showing that she's not quite able to capitalize.
Pretty much from the beginning of this contest, these two have been going toe to toe and just beating the tar out of one another.
That they have. Well, here comes the star shower from Betty Hiess. Ending it with that backflip kick. And here comes the cover. 1, 2, no!
That was awfully close, but only a 2 count.
You just got to wonder, Sprocket, how much more is it going to take for either one of these two to keep the other down for the 3?
Indeed, I think at this point it's going to come down to who makes the next mistake, so to speak. I mean, it's going to be something good, but these two have been pretty evenly matched, and you know this has been a very entertaining contest, and this is just our opener tonight.
Right, you are, Sprocket. Betty Hiess with that back suplex, picking Strikira up once more. The Life Force Hurricane's going to need every bit of that Life Force. Oh, look at the Northern Lights. Look at the bridge. Only good enough for a 2.
But an awfully close 2. Awfully close.
Betty Hiess taking a trip to the outside ropes. I think we know where this is going. Strikira trying to pull herself back to her feet, looking groggy, looking unstable. Not even sure she knows where she is right now. Here comes Betty off the side, but uh-oh, it was a feint. Strikira with the power bomb.
What a display of strength there.
Indeed, indeed. Ooh, and taser kick, taser kick.
Then they kicked Betty's head off right by the ropes.
There's the cover. 1, 2. Betty gets the foot on the ropes, but the referee doesn't see it. 3.
Yes, I mean, Betty did get the foot up, but, you know, the official did not see it. But, you know, referee's judgments are final, but I'm sure Strikira, knowing her the way I do, I mean, she won't be very... She would have wished it came about in better circumstances, but your winner is Strikira.
The Life Force Hurricane getting the win, but there was no doubt Betty had the foot on the ropes at 2.5. But Strikira getting the victory tonight, it would seem.
Yeah, unfortunately, our official, the way he was, he could not see the foot. I mean, that does happen sometimes, you know, angles are everything. When it comes to everything, you know, I do that on the TV, I've done that myself.
Indeed, and I mean, looking at the replay here, you can look and just see there was no way the ref was going to be able to see that from the angle that they were at.
I have a feeling this is not over. Down the line.
Well, I certainly hope we do. That was a very fun match, and a little bit bummer that it ended that particular way, but you know, that just kind of makes it